So it is 3 o'clock. Let's start with today's training session. A warm welcome to all the participants. I hope you can see my screen. If you don't, just hold up your hand or let me know. So good. So today's presentation is covering the two subjects on MMServices, MMSupport and MMInspect. I think all of you guys know me. My name is Reto Hofer. I'm the head of the support competence group in Zofingen. With regards to today's session, the presentation is recorded. So we can use that, or you can use that afterwards to pass that on to other people, self-studying, or as a reference, if you want to get some more information on certain topics. What I would like to ask is, please could you turn off your microphones during the presentation? If you have any comments, questions, please use the chat function, which is at the top left. Just write your question after each block. We will go through the individual topics quickly, see whether any questions have come up, and we will answer them and as part of the conclusion of each of the topics. Today, despite the header, it's about support and inspect, so these two subjects are covered. The invitation is for 2 hours. I wouldn't expect the whole thing to take 2 hours. Depends a little bit on the amount of questions you have. But please don't hesitate. We have enough time if you have any questions that we can answer them. Okay, then let's dive in. So today is about the topic support and inspect. One of the things we always start is each of the subject has some pain points with the customer. So what we're talking about here, expectation. So when it comes to support, what is actually the main aspect the customer is obviously laying up or laying wake up in during the evening or during the night. So what is clearly a point is if they have a breakdown, how much is it gonna cost? And I don't mean just how much is the repair bill of Muller Martini. It's also how much is it gonna cost if he has to send work out, if he has to postpone certain jobs. There might be some opportunity cost because customers believe he's not a reliable customer anymore, and they may look for other suppliers in the future. Questions are, when is the next machine breakdown? Do we have engineers available? How fast is the machine up and running when the engineer is there? Obviously, some burning questions. As I said, does the customer need to send some work out? He needs to plan early enough to understand, okay, if the breakdown is not just a matter of a couple of hours, but it takes days to resolve this, that we make sure that the customer is informed about that, so he can make his own arrangements also towards his customers. So these are the main aspects when it comes to MMSupport that definitely worries the customers. So on the other hand, what do we have to offer when it comes to MMSupport? We have 50 local and factory support specialists, what we call TSS, the technical support specialists, that answer questions of the customers on a day-to-day basis. They are usually the first point of contact if the customer picks up the phone and reports that a breakdown has happened. In case we need to send people out to customers, so some foots on the ground, then we have around 220 service technicians worldwide in our market organizations and factories that can go out and fix problems if we cannot help them remotely. Just to give you an idea, we're dealing with around 12,000 tickets a year. This is what we have in recorded in Business One. you could argue that the number probably would be a little bit higher because we have not rolled out our system yet to Latin America. There's obviously a number of calls coming on top of that from that region. We have not the full transparency on North America at the moment as far as support tickets are concerned. So you could probably argue it's even more than the 12,000. It's probably 13 to 14,000 tickets a year. But it just shows customers the magnitude of interactions that we have on a day-to-day basis with our customers worldwide when it comes to offering support. What is also important is that we constantly investing in that side of the business. So the total investment in MMSupport is estimated to be around 30 million a year, which is basically the 50 local factory and support specialists, the 220 service technicians, and all the service managers that are basically based in the local organizations that obviously then make up this figure. The last point is the intensified ongoing recruitment. We are obviously aware that service is a people's business, that we continuously have to invest into our service technicians and technical support specialists. We need to rejuvenate our team to make sure that not just in the short term and mid-term, but also in the long term, we are a reliable partner when it comes to service. As a result of that, when we go out, when we do technical support, when we send people on the ground to customers, then the feedback we're getting is extremely positive about the quality and the performance of these engineers. So we only get around 1 to 2% of negative reviews when we actually have to send people out. So we're talking 98, 99% success rates as far as the feedback from customers is concerned. And that's obviously a lot down to the people on the ground, a lot of the people in the local market organizations. So what do we cover in MMSupport in this session are these 4 different areas. We're talking a little bit about the applications we use. This is a lot about efficiency, making sure when we go out that that our people can focus on the task on hand to help the customer and to have less focus on the administration side of the whole job. Processes, how we actually manage to send our people out, what is the organization worldwide behind that, what products do we have on the support side, and what I would like to talk about is a little bit about innovation. So what is the next thing in service? Again, one thing we're going to show at Drupa is how Muller-Martini looks at the future in service, and particularly how we believe technology such as artificial intelligence is going to be able to help us to improve the service that we provide to our customers. Again, we're talking a proof of concept at the moment where we are trying out and testing technologies in order to help us. But it's important that we show customers that we're not a company that is always looking backwards. We're also looking at the future and exploring ways how we can use that technology to help us. So just main applications that we use. These are the main applications for our service technicians. It's Business One, it's the planner, and it's the field service application that we have in order to go out efficiently and go about our day-to-day business. All this is connected via cloud, so we don't have to put the information in 4 or 5 different channels. You're logging a call, you're planning this call, then you're sending it to the service technician on the call sends his hours back, and this is all cloud-based. So in a bit more detail, we're talking the planning board. So this allows us worldwide to plan our engineers in the same way. It's integrated into our call handling system, which is Business One. So any information logged in Business One, we can actually transfer into the workforce management system. We have a skills management included in that as well. So we know in certain categories where we have people, where we have certain skills, in order to share them, in order to have visibility where we have these experts, in order to share them regionally, share them globally as well. Again, this is the workforce management is basically a tool where all the hours and all the activities worldwide are logged, whether it's a local or a factory technician, again, to offer maximum transparency in order to improve and maximize efficiency. The field service application, again, also integrated in Business One. So if a job is planned and we have then decided, okay, we need some foot soldiers on the ground, we're basically transferring that then to the handheld device of the service technician. The service technician sees the job. He has access to all the information that has been logged against the job. He can also look for other calls that have been logged against the same business partner. He has access to all the service calls that are actually logged in his database. So if he wants to search for other calls for the similar type of machines, he can also do that on his handheld device. He records his times and expenses again and signs the timesheet off also on that device. What we also have is we have predefined workflow steps, which should allow the engineer to go through the whole recording and administration process without missing out any information that is relevant for us to successfully complete the job. So for this, we have introduced some workflow steps where the engineer is guided through the whole process. Yes, we talked about the access to the business partner and customer equipment information, which is also on his handheld device. For the database he's got access to. A very important tool that we use on a day-to-day basis in the factories, definitely in most of the market organizations as well, is our MMAP web diagnostics tool. Is obviously for all the machines where we have remote connectivity established, we can use our web diagnostics tool to log on to the machine, to dive into the PLCs, into the CPUs, also on an I/O level. So on the left side, you see that we can access individual slave CPUs, check what the status is of the I/Os. For me, one of the most important tools, if you want to get good quality information coming back from customers, because talking to a customer is sometimes extremely difficult to get good service information back that allows you to start the fault finding process. A lot of these, let me say, so-called operators, they have very limited knowledge on the machine. So anything that you can get without having a middleman in between, straight from the machine, is so much greater of value to you, to the fault finding process, than if you have to ask operators with very limited technical know-how and knowledge to explain to you what actually happens on the machine. So this here improves by miles the way and the efficiency and the quality of the service that we can provide, not just to the customer, but also internally. Second thing is when we come to applications is Empower. Again, Empower is accessible to all our customers that have a login. So if they log in to Empower and click onto the to the support module, that's the following information they can see. They can select the machine. Usually when they only have one machine, then obviously they don't have to select multiple machines here. So they have, for example, the information for the Primera Pro. They see what service agreement they have in place with us, what is the expiry date of this. if they click onto this little magnifying glass, this detailed view pops up. They see the starting date of the remote agreement, they see the end date of the agreement, and they see whether the e-call is active. They also see the coverage hours of the agreement they have in place with us. They see all the main contact numbers for the local Müller-Martini organization that is responsible to provide support and spare parts. They have access to a call history. And here we have two different aspects that we show the customer. One is all the active calls and that are not closed yet. And the second thing is we show them a call history of the last 12 months of all the calls that have been closed. So if a customer wants to see, okay, what's been going on with my machine over the last 12 months, then he can actually see all this on Empower. They also have access to the e-call. However, the access is obviously subject to having a valid remote line agreement up here. The e-call is something that we clearly will push a bit at Drupa as well. For me personally, is this the most efficient way for a customer to get in touch with you? It's currently rolled out already in all the Western European regions, or in the Western European regions in all the countries, and it's also introduced in Germany. We are currently talking to North America as well to see that we can introduce the e-call before Drupa as well. This is our plan that we have that in place before Drupa too. If a customer has a valid remote line or remote line plus agreement, then obviously he can use this e-call to get in touch with us during these office hours. Clicking on this call will create a service call in the market organization's local database with all the information about the customer. And then our support specialists will contact the customer under the contact number that he adds when he sets off the e-call, so we can call him back. What we will have for Drupa is here in the section where you see the details of the support agreement, QR code that guides the customer directly onto this page. So behind here is the information about the machine and the MMSupport function. So if he scans this and he has a valid login, he will go straight onto the correct page for that machine, and he can straight click onto the e-call button. We will have this QR code also next to the machines that are displayed at Drupa to make sure that we can explain that functionality also on the machine and show the customer how easy it is to access and trigger the e-call. Smart glasses. We showed at Drupa 2016. We obviously had an exhibit with smart glasses. We have continued to use smart glasses in our organization, but we have discovered that we have certain business cases where it really makes sense to use these kind of smart glasses. And there are certain business cases because of, I would say, restrictions and limitations with regards to hardware and setup where it does not make sense. And applications like the Assist AR Team Viewer that are now basically available for all our service technicians, or maybe WhatsApp does make more sense when we quickly communicate with our customers. So we have the smart glasses, the MM smart glasses, they are utilized at the moment. However, they are utilized for the support of our engineers when we talk about complex projects, installation projects, predominantly for digital equipment. We have used that in projects in Taiwan, which is GainHow. We have used that hardware in installation projects in Germany, which is Elanders. And on top of that, we have used that in specific online training. For example, again, in Asia Pacific, where we had quite extensive training on sewing machines. where we were using for certain parts of the training, we were also using the smart glasses to pass on certain information within certain training units. Again, we use the hardware where we feel and where we believe and we have experienced that it offers a significant benefit to other technologies. So where you clearly need some work freely with both hands. That's with training specifically. If you go through the machine and if you have to point out some stuff, definitely makes sense in online training. So this is where the smart glasses are used, and we will show the smart glasses on the stand as well in that context. Organization. Two aspects here why I show that to you is first of all to show you what quite comprehensive organization we have in place to support our customers. We have our technical support specialists for the different areas in saddle stitching, mailroom, digital, soft cover, and sewing machines. We have our technical support specialists that provide the technical support to you as a market organization as well as to the customers. And we have our comprehensive team of service technicians in each of the areas that provide not just technical support, but also on-site support to our customers. Some of them are also utilized by the PFC, by our training facility when it comes to training for customers, when it comes to customer demos, presentation, these kind of things. What I also would like to show you is the investment in new people. So everybody in blue has actually joined the company within the last two years. So you can see in almost all of the areas, we have managed to bring new people on board to rejuvenate the team, to make sure that we have a good, solid setup also for the future. There's some exciting people that actually have joined. Also, you see it's predominantly in areas where we obviously see a lot of projects and activities going on, but also in other areas we have managed to strengthen our team with some good, fantastic key people that are now part of our MMServices organization. Rather than the same, we have our technical support team. We have our field service technicians that are providing all the technical support for the equipment that is managed and covered by our colleagues in Raden. When it comes to processes, obviously one important aspect is also that we elaborate to customers that although one person is probably standing on site at the customer, it's not just one person that actually provides the service. We have a full-scale service organization that not just supports the customer, but also our service technicians that go on site. So our typical organizational structure starts at the top. Customers ring in for spare parts, for technical support, maybe outside office hours. So we log the call, which is usually in our Business One system. We then provide locally technical support to see that we can help him. Maybe, or in a lot of cases, we have the opportunity or the possibility to escalate within the organization, for example, to send that request out to a service technician to provide some further support. And only if that first level cannot successfully resolve the issue, we have the possibility in our system to escalate to the second level, which is the business units. And within the business units, we can also escalate to our developers. So what that should illustrate is it's not just that the one man standing in front of the customer. He has behind a full scale organizational structure that helps him to deliver the best possible service to the customer. When it comes to the products, the product portfolio hasn't changed a great deal in the last years. So from what you have seen, if you had the opportunity to be at Drupa 2016, this is pretty much still the case. We have our well-known Helpline and Helpline Plus service products for all the equipment that has no remote capability, whereas the Helpline is obviously daytime support, and the Helpline Plus also covers the 24/7 support. We have then for all the equipment that has remote connectivity, we have our Remote Line and the Remote Line Plus products that offer, again, Remote Line during the day and Remote Line Plus 24/7 coverage, where we provide technical support to our customers. From a phasing point of view or a scope point of view, as far as these products are concerned, we actually have 3 levels. One is for customers that have no agreement with us. We still have the possibility for them that they can receive some support. It's obviously on a ticket base, where we offered technical support to these customers Monday to Friday during business hours. They have some very basic functionality in Empower that they also have available. And if they need more than that, which is the Plus, they have the possibility to sign up for a Remote Line agreement, a daytime support agreement, which then offers priority support to our technical experts. Again, if they have access or we have access to advanced remote capability, obviously we will use that capability to connect to the machine, to improve our fault finding processes. They have increased access to Empower with access to additional features in our customer portal, such as the call records, the reporting tools. However, they are subject to licenses. But on the support side, it's the e-call function, and it's the call recording and the call history that they have available. I already said access to e-call, which is one of the features that they get if they sign up for a Remote Line contract. And obviously, it also helps minimizing administration, because if you don't have to worry about an invoice every time you ring up for technical support, and this is just covered under an annual agreement, it obviously limits the administration that is included. Then on top of that, if customers really need around-the-clock support, and we have the Plus option on each of the agreements, which is the Helpline Plus and the Remote Line Plus. Again, that offers then a dedicated service line to our experts on a 24/7 base, predominantly for customers that operate on a multi-shift production. That support, although, is only available in English and German. Again, having a Plus package also allows to have access to our spare parts ordering out of hours. Excluding courier cost, it just basically included is the call-out fee if you have a Remote Line Plus or a Helpline Plus agreement. Again, important there for the customers to stress that this is for business or production critical cases only. We obviously aren't too happy if somebody rings us at 2 o'clock in the morning to replenish his stock. That's clearly not what this service is about. As I said, in case our very comprehensive technical support team cannot help the customer and we really have to put people on the ground and send them out to customers, then we can rely on our 220 skilled service technicians worldwide. They ensure that after a breakdown, we are on site quickly with the right skills and manpower. They also have access to our remote tools, so they can, by and large, do the same as we would do through our technical support team if we help the customer remotely. So our service technicians have also access to that capability or features. Again, depends obviously that the machine has that remote capability included into the machine. Just a reminder, we're using for our remote agreements, we're also using technology groups, T1, T2, T3. These are based on the complexity of the machines covered. That means typically T1 means an entry-level machine, whether it's in saddle stitching or perfect binding. T2 typically is a mid-range saddle stitch or perfect binder. We're talking about Primera, or we're talking about an Allegro or a KM610. And as soon as we talk about high-end saddle stitching, perfect binding, or digital equipment, then we're talking about T3. Typically, this is Sigma lines. These are complex book lines, normally connected or integrated with workflow systems. That obviously increases the complexity of these kind of installations significantly. So just bear in mind that the technology groups or categories are important when you want to select the right product for that customer. So now let me talk about innovation a little bit. As I said, we would like to show at Drupa what we believe, what technology is going to help us as a company in future to improve the service that we want to provide to our customers. And one of the key technologies that obviously is mentioned at the moment on a very, very large scale is the use of artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, for example, in all shapes and forms in today's business. And one of the aspects that we would like to show at Drupa is a proof of concept that we are doing together with one of our major suppliers. So we are using artificial intelligence to use historical data to assist our technical support specialists when it comes to root cause analysis. What do I mean with that? We're tapping into the knowledge from documents and past service cases and turn them into data to allow root cause predictions that we can then pass on to our TSS and our service technician. This specific technology, a little bit like ChatGPT, allows for the user to ask specific questions about cases, and then the system goes into the vast range of information available and comes out with predictions. It also helps to identify similar cases that happen worldwide that might be useful for the technician or our technical support specialists. So what we would like to show at Drupa is not a tool that is used throughout the Muller-Martini organization yet, but we want to show proof of concept that gives the customer ID how we want to use that technology in future and how we use it already today. So we have lined up a proof of concept that works exceptionally well already with the Vareo. The Vareo, we have the Vareo Pro and the Vareo. We have a lot of information already in that tool where we can ask certain questions and the system comes out with root cause predictions. So our plan is for Drupa, we will put a couple of business cases together, maybe 10, 15, 20 in German and English, where we can ask the system about a specific question, like here, for example, the cover feeder comes up on the motor M184 with an internal fault. And the system will give a root cause description, a root cause fault description that it believes is the right solution with relevant documents that give further information about that. On the Vareo and on the Vareo Pro, and possibly on the KM, on the K332, which is a hardcover line, we have 60 to 70% plus success rate in giving out good root cause predictions. Again, this is only on these machines, because you have to feed the system with enough good information, which we continuously to do so, to get good quality root cause predictions. So for Drupa, we're lining up a business case where the customer, at least on the Vareo and possibly also on the hardcover line, that we can add some questions, and the system will, based on the artificial intelligence that taps into this historic data, is coming out with root cause predictions. So how are we going to show that at the exhibition? Whoever has taken part in the training from Felix will know how, by and large, how the Drupa layout looks like. So we have the meeting point, which is the first point of contact. Then we go over to the machines. Then from the machines, the plan is that you're bringing customers over to the service. And once the service gone through, you're bringing them back into the lounge, into the bar for further discussions, or into the networking zone, where you have the possibility to engage in further conversation. So on the service side, we have here the support and inspect aspects. So we have the monitor at the top, where we're going to show presentation about the major aspects of MMSupport. Basically, again, the application, the processes, the products, and the innovation. And we're going to have a laptop here, where we can show the customer the web diagnostics and the artificial intelligence, how we want to use that. And there's going to be an exhibit there, like the smart glasses, that the customers can look at. We'll provide you with a cheat sheet with the most important aspects and facts. And there's going to be a Drupa walk. The Drupa walk is a text containing the most important information that we would like you to provide to the customer when you bring him over to the service side to talk about support and on any other subjects. Again, should give you some good hints on all the points that you should mention when the customer is there, if he wants to have more in detailed information about MMSupport. So let me just talk you quickly through the content of the Drupa walk for MMSupport. So under MMSupport, it is all about uptime. So in order to achieve this, we offer high degree of efficiency. It starts with our Empower platform and the eCall button. This is the fastest way to connect to our experts. As soon as your phone or eCall is received, our service experts will begin corrective action. Today, we solve over 90% of the challenges remotely. Our experts have access to advanced remote capability that allows for computer-aided analysis of all relevant parameters and log files. Scope of service is subject to connectivity. Optimum preparation of planned on-site interventions, e.g. on-site support, spares identification, etc. Cybersecurity, certified VPN connection to help manage the cybersecurity challenge. We are also applying technology wherever possible, building on the last innovation, the AR glasses that provide their value during the COVID lockdowns, where we were able to train and support our colleagues and customers around the world. We see constant improvement as a necessity. So we are now also using KI and AI technology to access historical data to assist to assist our technical support specialists with root cause analysis to get you back up and running faster. This technology allows getting from recorded symptoms to root cause and more accurate part predictions. It is tapping the knowledge from documents and past service cases and turns this data into sharper insight predictions. Despite all the technological advances, support is a people's business, like in your business. We need to ensure sufficient resources on the ground. So we have continued to invest heavily in our MMSupport team to the extent of 30 million Swiss francs a year. We can offer different MMSupport programs, such as technical remote support day and night, or where required, boots on the ground with our on-site support. Please note that while our technicians might be the only one on site, they are never alone. Behind them is an extensive second-level support operation with specialized MMSupport technology and MMSupport processes. So the plan for this Drupa walk is like in 2016. It's not that you're quoting this word by word, but it should actually give you the script of the main topics when you talk to a customer. So you have a bit of a flow and a red line that you can guide the conversation through the various topics that he can see while he's on the MMSupport stand and you're talking about MMSupport. I'm convinced once you deliver this 2-3 times, you're going to have your own wording, your own way of conveying that to the customer, so it flows. And I think that's an important part here. That gives you the content, the flow you probably have to create yourself. So this is all going to be provided as part of the MMSupport training session or preparation for the Drupa show. And I'm convinced with this setup, we will have on the MMSupport label a good base set of infos and exhibits that give a good impression to the customer what we do and what we're going to do in future when it comes to supporting them in case of a breakdown. Oh. So, questions. Let me just look at the chat. Question. Still working. Is it possible to access Empower from a tablet or phone? Yes, it is. We have already worked on the visuals, so they're the design is optimized, so you can also look at that on a phone, on a smartphone, or on a tablet. Definitely, the support module has also been optimized to make sure that you can see the equal better, and that the information is also displayed in a better way on the smartphone. So we can show you that, or you can try them. Can try that yourself. When the next version comes out, that should have these features already in there. Let me just see if there's anything else. And let me just ask, any more questions you would like to ask? Okay. Then let's just jump to inspect. So I hope you can see the screen. Again, quickly, what is important when it comes to inspect for the customer? I think it's on the left side. Okay, how can I improve the reliability of the machine? How can I improve the quality of the products produced? How can I improve the performance of my machine? Depending on what the main issue is for the customer, it's one of these questions that is probably the most burning for the customer. So if he has reliability issues, it's probably the reliability. If he's not happy with the quality, then it's the quality. And if he's not happy with the poor performance, it's obviously the performance. I think with all of them, the Inspect tool offers the solution for that. Generally speaking, what is the state of my machine? Not just for his machine, but what is the state of a machine I would like to purchase? This is a very important question when it comes to getting some second-hand equipment on site. Nobody loves to buy and doesn't know whether he has some hidden skeletons in the cupboard. So this is clearly one of the things that we need to convey to customers. We are there, even if you haven't purchased the machine from us. If you want to know whether a machine is in good state, get the manufacturers in. We can do an inspection on that machine. We can tell you what's wrong, what needs to be looked at before you go back into production. Again, obsolescence risk, the whole topic about life cycle management, whether he has obsolescence risks on site. Again, a perfect opportunity. An inspection will give the customer some detailed information, whether he has a risk with discontinued or non-available parts. All this can be tackled when we go through an inspection on site. Again, from our side, we have 50 plus service technicians that are all trained to conduct numerous different kinds of inspections. We have different checklists available for over 400 machine types that offer a vast range of inspections that we can do. Again, in the documentation, we can show you which machines we actually have these templates. And let me say, because we started with the inspections, there's obviously a lot of equipment that we have inspection checklists available on soft cover, on saddle stitching and hard cover. There is also quite a big range of machines we have maintenance checklists for, and an increasing amount of machines where we have what we call startup checklists for. Startup checklists are checklists our service technicians go through during the installation commissioning of a machine before we hand the machine over to the customer. So we make sure everything has been looked at before we pass on the machine to the customer. As a result, we do around 200 inspections a year. And this is clearly something we would like and we would love to push at Drupa as well. For me, it's such an excellent instrument for the customer to look at his major pain points when it comes to performance, quality, and reliability issues. Again, in that presentation here, we're talking about the following key aspects. Again, the application quickly, what we use, the processes we use, the products we have, and the innovation we have continuously applied when it comes to the tools and the products we use. Again, when it comes to the application, we're using our inspection tool. The main key aspect is we would like to keep the downtime of an inspection to an absolute minimum. However, not compromising on the quality. So we have, as you have seen, for more than 400 types of machines, we have predefined checklists that guide the engineer through a clear set of questions for that machine in order to maximize the benefits we can get out of this. Not just for inspections, but also preventative maintenance visits. These applications, as I said, guide the expert through the checkpoints to make sure that we cover everything that we would need to cover for a specific machine, regardless whether the inspection is done in the UK, in US, or in Japan. The tool is also available offline. So even if you have no connectivity somewhere deep in the jungle, you can still use the inspection tool and carry out an inspection. On top of that, the inspection tool, once all the information has been put in, creates automatically a report template, either for an inspection, for a preventive maintenance visit, or when it comes to the startup checklist. From a process point of view, I think it's also important that we look at where we believe are the sweet spots to carry out inspections. In my opinion, there are at least 5 times when you can talk about inspections to a customer. One is what we call the checkup inspection, which is at the end of the warranty period. Usually that's incorporated into the machine deal. So we recommend to the customer that we come before the machine comes out of warranty. We come on site, we check out the machine, make sure there's no hidden skeletons in the cupboard before the machine goes out of warranty. The second point, after a significant breakdown, I know it's a tough decision or a tough discussion, but for me, after the customer had a massive breakdown, is back in production, I think it's very prudent to have that conversation, not just 5 minutes after, because then obviously the mind of the customer is circling around something else, but a few days, a few weeks later, to really talk to the customer and say, hey, the last thing you want is something like this again. So if we do an inspection on site to find out what is the state of the machine, again, referring back to the main pain points of a customer, to make sure that this at this magnitude does not happen again. What can we do? What can you do? What can we do to assist you? I think that's a perfect opportunity to talk about an inspection. Before peak season, a lot of customers use that before they have the busy season during the year. Usually they can actually schedule that. They get us in. They ask us to go through the inspections. Then also allocate enough time to make sure that we can actually then implement whatever comes out of these inspection reports in order to make sure that the machines are in the best possible state when they entering their peak season. This is a tool widely used throughout the world with various customers when it comes to inspections. Generally targeting all machines in the 5 to 10 year age group to address obsolescence risk. I think that's definitely the sweet spot. It's not the brand new machines. It's not the ancient piece of green metal that is somewhere lying around in the corner. It's usually the workhorses, the machines 5 to 10 years, well embedded into the production environment. These are the machines that are delivering the goods. If they stand still and don't deliver the goods, that's where really the pain starts for the customer. And I think that's, for me, again, one of the sweet spots where we need to focus on. And the other thing is, before customers want to relocate machines or before they want to purchase machines out of the second-hand market. Again, for me, it's important that the customer knows whether he has some hidden skeletons in the cupboard. Again, there's only one source to ask. It's usually not the company that sells you the machine. For obvious reasons, they're probably not going to point out all the weaknesses of the machine. You need somebody independent that can actually give you a truthful evaluation of the state of the machine. And there's no better partner in that than Muller Martini. So it's, for me, always one thing that I say to customers, if you decide to go for a second-hand equipment or pre-loved equipment, how we call it, then make sure you get us in to do a relocation inspection to make sure you understand exactly what you're buying. Again, here, different products we have available. We have the checkup service, as we said, that's usually sold together with the new equipment. We have pit stop, maintenance service, flexo service. You can see on the left side, some of these include inspections, some of these include maintenance aspects that can be incorporated into these products. Again, when it comes to customizing the right product for the customer, then you can choose various products from that range here. Just in detail, just a little bit more in detail about the product inspection. We're talking about our main aspect of a comprehensive equipment inspection, where the customer really gets a full detailed assessment of the machine. We're using the inspection tool. We have it available for most of the machines we have. We talked about these, I think it's now 200 different types of machines where we can offer that. And in most of the market organizations, these are offered at an attractive flat rate. Again, for customers to make sure that we can maximize the benefit to the customer. The product, which is the preventive maintenance aspect, we're also covering with the inspection tool. So here we're obviously looking at preventive maintenance. We're looking at checking out wear and tear parts. We're looking at lubricating. Again, usually as part of a comprehensive maintenance regime of a customer, the customer is not going to get us in for the day-to-day maintenance. But where we can assist, where we can support him and maybe complete his already existing preventive maintenance regime is by doing stuff that he can probably not do himself because he doesn't have the expertise. So annual preventive maintenance visits in combination with the customer doing the day-to-day, the weekly and the monthly stuff is usually the way forward, what we recommend to our customers. Again, the reports come out of the system as part of the regular preventive maintenance visits. So let me just, as last point, talk about innovation. One thing that we have started to do is we call it in-design service. So we are now linking our checkpoints on the inspections and preventative maintenance checklist to our spare parts and wear and tear recommended parts kits. So for the inspections, if we go through the checkpoints, we show the service technician whether for this checkpoint in the recommended spare parts package, there are actually parts that he needs to check as part of this checkpoint. So the most important one is obviously anything that we recommend as a vital spare part should also be checked on a regular basis. And if a problem, should be replaced. So the aim is that the customer has the one of these kits on site, or we bring that kit with us when we do the inspection, and replenish the stock before or after we leave. So next time we go for an inspection again or a preventive maintenance visit, that we have that spare part package on site again. There are consumable packages and spare part packages available for the Primera, the Prinova, the Antara, and the B320. We can give you some, or we will give you some further information on that, just to make sure we can really stress that additional benefit to the customer. With the maintenance checklists, it's the link to the wear and tear package. Again, maintenance is about looking at wear and tear parts. Again, it should be the parts that we have in these packages to make sure that that we have checked the most important aspects and replenish the package before we leave. Startup checklist, I talked about that, is clearly one of the aims we have, is to improve the quality of the machines when we install and commission. For that, for quite a large number of equipment, we now have startup checklists. Again, accessible through the inspection tool, where we have a clear set of checkpoints the engineer has to go through to make sure nothing gets forgotten before we hand over the machine to the customer. It's like it talks about inspection, the remote connections have to be established, certain aspects of the machine that have to be established, just to make sure we can hand over the machine in the best possible state to the customer. Report templates, we have revised our standard report templates. We put them onto the new corporate design. We incorporated here the possibility that you can add pictures of the machine, the customer's logo, if that is allowed by the customer. And generally the design of that has been standardized for all the different report templates that are available in the inspection tool. The other thing we have implemented is a data transfer to the eShop. So any parts included into the inspection tool against each checkpoint can not just be displayed in the inspection report, but we can also create a CSV file that can then import it into the eShop and automatically generate a quote as well as an order in the eShop without double keying all the information again. Again, as far as efficiency is concerned, I think a good way to improve how quickly we can actually get a spare parts quote out to the customer. And last but not least, Empower, we also want to, in order to improve accessibility to the reports for Drupa, we will come up with a new feature that we incorporate the inspection reports into Empower as well. So we will have in the documentation an additional section which is called reports. And here the inspection as well as the maintenance reports will be displayed, not just for the customer, but also for our own people. At Drupa, it's going to be very similar to support. Again, we're going to have a screen. We're going to show the inspection page or a presentation about inspect, the most important aspects that we can go through. The laptop we have is also, we are able to access the inspection tool. We can show the customer what it looks like, how we go through, and possibly maybe in connection with parts, we're going to show some recommended spare parts kit or a part of a recommended spare parts kit that we have for our machines nowadays. We will supply a cheat sheet, again, with the most important figures for you, you can talk about. And also the MMInspect is covered within our Drupa walk. Again, is the most important aspect that we would like you to talk about when you bring a customer into that area. So let me just talk you through one time for you. The MMInspect is our professional approach to analyzing your machine or line. Like the big press manufacturers, we complete hundreds of inspections per year through our global service network. Our experience shows that preventive maintenance pays off. So having a structured inspection program is the foundation to run your equipment with confidence. Knowing the condition of the line is critical. We have different types of inspections from our checkup service completed before the end of the warranty to our standard deep and detailed inspections. We're also carrying out inspections before customers want to relocate machines to make sure they know the condition of the equipment purchased before the machine is shipped to a new location. In order to keep downtime on the machine to a minimum, we are also applying technology wherever possible when carrying out inspections or preventive maintenance visits. So we have invested heavily in our tools and processes using a special software application that has customized checklists, factory records, machine upgrade information, and other data that is only available to Muller Martini. We now also link our checklist to our recommended spare parts packages in order to continuously review them and to improve traceability of wear and tear of your machine over the years. The MMInspect inspection package are great value. It's an inexpensive tool for getting a full assessment of where the machine or line stands. So again, this is the main aspect. Talk through a couple of times. I think you can then create your own little flow in order to cover the major aspects of that when you bring a customer into that area. Just quickly to wrap up the last couple of slides. I think you talked, Felix already talked about that when he had the presentation about the navigator. Again, there's going to be some further training programs this week in German on Friday. Then we're going to have further training on Select and Up to Date on the 18th of March and on the 22nd of March. As I said, we provide the cheat sheets. We are going to provide the Drupa walk as preparation for the exhibition, and there's going to be support on site from the service team. So you never walk alone. I think there's a song about that. So we're definitely going to be there to support you. However, in our opinion, most importantly, you should, by the start of Drupa or after the first 1 or 2 days, you should be able to convey the main messages, the main content to the customers yourself. You should have enough information on the cheat sheets and on the Drupa walk, so you can, with confidence, guide the customer through these aspects. And if you need further support, one of the experts to elaborate a bit more in detail on certain bits that you can't cover, then you have always the opportunity to come off to one of the experts that are on site. As I said, first, usually the walk is the meeting point. The second stop is the machines. The third is MMServices. And then you walk over to the meeting or the networking zone, where you can then actually conclude the service visit of the customer. Let me just quickly, the focal points. Again, parts, maintenance agreement, relocation and inspections. For the remote service, we talked about the helpline, remote line, and the e-call agreements, which are clearly focal points. Empower our customer portal. Again, for me, an absolute USP. No other, as far as I can see, no other competitor in our league has something that is even closely similar to what we can offer there. For training, again, promoting our training facility, the first class training we can do, and upgrades and retrofits, also in connection with the life cycle management. It's obviously a huge topic and a huge concern for a lot of our customers, where we offer solutions if customers have machines that are limited or even obsolete, in order not just to sell services, but also to trigger new machine sales for us and for you. So, final slide. Questions from your side that we haven't answered. Let me just go through the quickly here. So we have Reto with AI, new tools, and adding artificial intelligence are moving towards predictive maintenance. At the moment, the focus is on root cause predictions. Clearly, that's our proof of concept that we currently have. But if you know the history, and I think that comes out of the MMInspect, if you know the history of what the machine is using when we come in and do preventive maintenance and inspections, and also from the history what kind of parts he has purchased from us, it's clearly our goal to continuously improve the points or the checkpoints that we use in the preventive maintenance visits and also in the inspections. So I don't think at the moment we are going to use artificial intelligence, at least in that aspect, but we continuously to monitor what we do when we do these inspections and use that to improve the product that we already have. I hope that answers your question there, Antonio. Ryan, is there a recommended amount of time for the individual inspection modules should take to perform? Yes, there are. Again, we have given out a couple of years back recommendations, but what we also find is most market organizations then find their own recommended timescales. So saddle stitcher 1 day, perfect binder Allegro 2 to 3 days, but there is a list. So if you want me to, then I can forward you that list with the recommended values on inspections that we have put together. But we find that a lot of market organizations, after a while, have their own guidelines a little bit they give out to their salespeople. Anything else? Okay, I was told in one of my previous lives that I have to wait 7 seconds for all the questions to come in. So that only leaves me with thanking you all guys very much for your attention. I know to take an hour or an hour and 10 minutes out of your busy lives is a big ask. Again, I very much appreciate that you called in. As I said, you're going to get after this session, you're going to get an email with the recordings of that you can use, you can pass on, or you can use to study certain subjects again. There is always the possibility, if you have a question that pops up after this event to a certain topic, please ring me up. I sometimes not answer the phone within 5 or 10 minutes, but usually I'll come back. So please use that. Otherwise, I'm very much looking forward to see you all, or most of you, at Drupa, because again, it's for me an absolutely fantastic opportunity to showcase not just our machines, but also the service that we all provide to make sure, in the customer's view, Muller Martini is the best choice that he can take. And I think all of you guys have a big contribution to make sure that we can convey that message over to the customer. So again, very much looking forward to that, and having interesting chats, not just with you, but also with our customers.
Thanks, Reto.
Okay, then thanks very much. And just leaves me to give you all the thumbs up. Huh?
Thanks, Reto.
Thank you very much.
Reto.
Thank you, Reto.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Merci, Mauro. Tschüss.
Thank you. Good day. See ya.
No, thank you.